Welcome back to an episode of Cozy Clay Studio Diaries. I'm Momo and I'm a clay artist and I turn Asia's oldest folk tales into something that you can hold. So today the plan for this video is to turn this little half room into a studio for myself, because let me show you what your girl is working with. So excuse the mess. I have been super busy with my recent launch for Kochocho Studio. And I just have everything everywhere, from between taking pictures for product photos, as well as sculpting and finishing the pieces, creating stickers, designing my packaging. I just have a lot going on in this tiny little space. So the plan is to take everything that's here and move it out there. And I've already started clearing out the other room, as you could probably tell at the start of this video. And my goal is to really create a space that feels very intentional. I want it to have the right organization and lighting to make the best art that I can for you guys. So let's get started. So this is actually a painting that my sister made and gave to me. She's usually a mixed medium kind of gal, so as you can see, this is done with like pen and stuff. But super cool, right? We have totally different art styles, I would say. My stuff is very kawaii, and her stuff is very like old anime, like old school Sailor Moon style. Or basa, if you know what that is.
Glowing soft tonight.
Whenever you're doing heavy lifting, you gotta drink some water. Stay hydrated, folks.
We were almost something rare.
A standing desk. Maybe if I feel a little less cramped behind me, I'll actually use it. I have a predicament. I don't know if I want my desk against the window or if I want it like this with my back against the wall. So feng shui says that if I have my back against the wall, I'm going to naturally feel more comfortable because my back will be protected from invaders. But the only realistic invaders that I can think of barging into my studio are my dogs. I don't know, I really like it against the window like this because when I glaze, I like to put a box fan right up against the window with the front of the fan facing outside so that it sucks in all of the fumes from when I'm glazing with UV resin that are toxic for me to inhale, and it just pushes them straight out the window so that I don't have to air out my room for quite as long. Usually by the time I'm done glazing and curing everything, the smell is long gone. So I like doing it like that. So I think I will probably keep it like this for the sake of good ventilation. And I also get a really nice little smidge of morning sunlight in this room. So there is a very tall apartment complex that is right outside my window. So I only get a little bit of morning sun, and I guess that would be really nice. I think my plants might appreciate that.
Perfume drifting in the air. Demo yakusoku janai. Footsteps slow on polished stone. Mune ga sukoshi jiyu. I don't need to not feel alone to know I'm strong.
This is my clay box. I've been meaning to do this for a really long time, but I got these little cute things from Aldi's, which I believe is a German grocery store, and they have super cheap items. And I've been meaning to use this little box to organize my clays that are just kind of like loosey-goosey in here. So I'm gonna do that now. I think for like these giant blocks of clay, I'll just keep them in the bigger box. But for all these little pieces, like these squares of female, I'm just gonna stick them into this little tinier box. So that feels a little bit more organized.
Afterglow steps この街で私は変わる Love ones live between these lines.
So what I especially like about this box is that it comes with this little guy, which just sits right on top, and I can put all of my little tiny balls of clay that I like pre-mixed myself and just stick them in here so that they're not also loosey-goosey inside this thing. Because currently this is what it looks like. I think when you start sculpting quite a bit, you just start mixing a lot of your own clays, and then you'll end up having like a giant block like this. There, so much neater.
Window reflections passing by Neon written in the sky あなたの記憶も静かに揺れ
And I think I'm done. Okay, so let me show you around. So this is the room right here where the studio used to be in. I went ahead and moved some of the old furniture that was in this room and moved it back into there. Here, as you can see, is my desk setup right up against the window, just the way I like. I do really miss the orange curtains that I have in the other room, and I do have one more set that I could put in, but I just don't have the drywall anchors for it, so I can't put those in yet. Okay, sorry, I'm like so sweaty. Anyway, okay, so here is my bookshelf with my SPN and my no face and some lovely little plants. And then I also have some plants here against this window that are not real. This one is though. That one is. And I really like it. Honestly, it feels really cute. So I can imagine like setting up my camera like right here so that you guys can get some behind the scenes shots while I sculpt over there. But this is my favorite part. So this right here is my paper goods area. So this is also where I'm going to be packaging things. So I think at some point I'm probably going to get some shelving to put all my packaging supplies and store it so that it's not just in these cardboard boxes. But for now, this is very practical. It's free since it came in these boxes. So I'm pretty happy with that. And yeah. So I use this printer to make all of my stickers and all of my thank you cards and care cards. And then I have this little Cricut thing here where I use to cut the stickers out. I have the Cricut Joy Extra. I just got it and I have to say I quite like it. I like the size of it. I like that it's pretty small. And I got these little things that go in it, so it's perfect. I print out the stickers on some sticker paper, and then I stick them to this Cricut Joy Extra mat and stick it in here, and then it just cuts all my stickers. It's really nice for a little DIY setup. I actually do use this as storage for a bunch of like plant supplies. I am indeed a plant mom and I am a gardening nerd, so I have a bunch of stuff in there, but eventually I guess I'll make some time to move a bunch of things out of there, so maybe I can put some packaging supplies, maybe things like my ink and whatnot. I feel like it's like a very quintessential thing for an Asian household to have a deep freezer or a second fridge or something. And so, yeah, this is where we keep a lot of our ice cream and and our other frozen goods like vegetables and meats and proteins, other proteins. But it also doubles as a perfect little surface for me to do some packaging on when we are not trying to get things out of it. I love that I have my whole like setup here for packaging and then my area right here to actually pack the orders. I think I'm really happy with this setup. This was exactly what I was going for. So I guess I'm gonna go take a shower and probably call it for tonight because as you can tell, I'm very sweaty. I just did a whole whole bunch of heavy lifting by myself. Yeah, I guess I'll see you all tomorrow for some sculpting. All right, peace out. So good morning. It is now actually 3 days later because I was super busy with my 9-to-5 job. And the plan for today is to go ahead and sculpt all of my sold out orders for this little guy. This is the green frog from the Korean folktale that I covered last week on my Clay Tale series. And I'm just so excited to sculpt all of these. And I'm just so grateful. Yeah, so I guess let's go ahead and get started.
And there's a centipede naked in your bedroom. Oh, and you swear to God the fucker's out to get you.
So to make the frogs, we are using Sculpey Primo translucent clay. And something that's really important when you work with translucent clay is that you want to really get rid of any dust. So I have this little ball of scrap clay here that I like to rub between my hands, and I also use it to kind of warm up my hands, get them ready for sculpting. And yeah, I think that this is a very important step. You don't want to be seeing little bits of dust inside your clay after it bakes. So something that really helps to keep your pieces consistent in shape and form, especially when you are selling them, is to actually use a scale. So I have this nice little milligram scale here. Oh my gosh, it's going crazy because it's not level. But yeah, I weigh out all of my balls of clay. So for example, for the green frog, I have it written down here, how much each of the pieces weigh. And so for the body, for example, I am measuring out exactly 20 grams. There's something so satisfying about nailing the weight. Oh my goodness. So because I have wrist tendonitis, I have to use equipment like this clay roller. And also it's just really nice to have even if you don't have wrist tendonitis. It makes the work a lot faster because conditioning clay, I feel like, is sometimes the most frustrating as well as the most time-consuming part of sculpting. And so I like to turn it to its widest setting, and then I just run a bunch of pieces of the clay through it like that. And as you can see, when you first start, it's really crumbly like this. It doesn't really conform very nicely. So yeah, so I just kind of sculpt all these little balls first, these little scraps together. And I find that this really helps save my wrists from a lot of pain. Wrist tendonitis is a condition where your tendon that is located in your wrist becomes chronically inflamed with overwork. And so motions like squeezing clay in order to condition it, although that works just fine for smaller pieces, for lots of pieces as well as larger pieces, I really like doing it like this. It also speeds up the process by like 4 times, so it's really nice like that.
And I digress, 'cause I must make you the perfect morning.
So it's really important to properly condition translucent clay in particular, because if you don't, then when you bake it, there's a ton of little cracks that will appear on the surface of the clay. And in order to prevent that, you have to condition it super well so that's very soft.
I try my best to scoop the slugger.
So what you want to see when your clay is properly conditioned is that it's really easy to press down like that. So now I have all of my little pieces of clay to make the body of the frog, and now it's time to make the arms and legs. All right, we have all the legs and the bodies.
And there's a praying mantis prancing on your bathtub.
So here we got the little arms on the left, and then the feet on the right, and then all of the frog bodies.
And I digress,
I must make you the perfect evening. I try my best to put the priest inside a jam jar.
The thing about pastels is that before you apply it, you need to make sure that the surface is already smooth, since you can't sand it down later. It makes it really annoying because you have to make extra sure that there's no dust anywhere. So I always continuously double check that the little dust particles are not here, and if I see any, then I just remove it with a little Q-tip. So even though these are my favorite to sculpt, they are also probably the hardest. And if you don't ensure that your surface is nice and smooth and kind of get rid of all these fingerprints before and divots beforehand, then a lot of the pigment from the pastel just kind of sits in those grooves, and then it doesn't look like a nice smooth layer. That's why it helps a lot when you're working with pastels to use a nicer quality clay that isn't too soft. For example, Craft Smart, which is the Michaels brand of clay. It's nice when you're prototyping, but when you are trying to make something for a finished product, it tends to hold on to fingerprints really easily, especially if you have warm hands. So that's why I like sculpting with Sculpey Primo, because I find it to be a nice mix between hard and soft. So here are all the pieces sculpted and baked, and all I have to do now is add the red markings, assemble everything, and glaze it. So I think I'm going to stop here for today because it is already pretty late. It is almost 1 a.m. and I'm going to pick this back up tomorrow. So see you tomorrow morning. Alright, so off camera, I added all the little markings on these guys. So all that's really left to do now is to super glue the little ginkgo leaf umbrellas to their hands and glaze them. All the ginkgo leaf umbrellas are now glued on, and now I'm just going to wait for them to cure before I go ahead and put UV resin over all of these. Okay, so I think I want to stop here for today, and I want to show you guys how I glaze and package these little frogs in next week's video, since today I want to spend the rest of the evening working on my mini mitts and clay tails. For this week, I have a really exciting story to share with you all that is very inspiring. It is a Chinese folktale called The Carp and the Dragon. And it is a tale that was told a lot back in the day when people were taking the imperial exam, which was an exam that was able to change the entire trajectory of your whole generation and the generations after you. So it was a big deal. And so this story kind of pays homage to that as well. I know that many of you are on the younger side, so I thought that this would be very fitting for graduation season. And I also got a request the other day to do an Indian folktale. So I found one on Airavata, which is a very celestial and majestic elephant, and I'm so excited to sculpt a very kawaii version while telling you this super grand myth. That's really cool. So look forward to those coming out this week as well. All right, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.